Fellow PLPs, crime has invaded our country and holds hostage the minds of men and women who fear for their lives. Crime will not disappear until such time as we find the ways and explore the avenues and execute with precision programs and policies that will create new job opportunities, that will provide occupation for idle hands and discouraged minds. Our job is to arrest the minds with challenges, with opportunities, before the mind of that young man turns against a society that he feels has betrayed him or he feels that has left him unattended to. We must return the majesty to our judiciary. The political hands of our country have done tremendous damage in many areas and has removed the need for excellence. We must create legislation that in the future will make it incumbent that when a prime minister makes a selection of a judge, say, that must be scrutinized by the parliament. Equally important is the respect that should be given to police, to our customs, and to our immigration officers. Never again should we allow the unceremonious terminations of men and women who have given so much to this country. That was wrong. It will never be right, and we must never allow it to happen again. Civil servants are professional people, and in spite of government's failures, they have kept our country afloat. They demand our respect. They deserve the respect of all of us who sit in positions of authority. When Sir Lyndon Pinley began the infrastructure of our family islands and instituted the electrification program, the objective was that one day each island would represent a place for economic opportunity for its residents and for its offsprings. We have arrived at that stage in this country where the islands must not be bunched together, but must be seen as single states with unique characteristics upon which the economy of the local island can be built. No better example is that than the island of Abaco, which has demonstrated diversity and sustainability and tourism, agriculture, fisheries, and light industry. The same must hold for Andros, for Eleuthera, for Exuma, for Bimini, and for Long Island, and for the islands of our country. As your deputy leader, I will recommend to our party and to our party leader that we create an economic plan for each island of the Bahamas that captures its unique characteristics upon which the economy can be structured. Over the next several weeks, I will be visiting the various islands, and I will speak to the proposals that I intend to present to the party and to our leader relevant to each island. We must now create a plan for each island that will result in economic growth and economic sustainability. Additionally, local government will require mass reform as another stage in broadening the scope and responsibilities of elected officials. The pay scale of elected local government officials must be reviewed, commensurate with the level of responsibility that the offices now hold. Elected local government officials must in the future sit around the table in the planning process of economic, social, educational, and health decisions. We must move away from the centralized decision-making and allow for greater participation of all elected officials who have an even better understanding of what our country needs and what the people of our community needs. As your deputy leader, I will recommend to our party and to our party leader that we take action to plan for a new hospital in New Providence, but also that we consider an effective way in establishing a hospital in Exuma that will service the southern Bahamas. We as a people must accept that while our population and the demands have increased even more, our facilities as they are today have left behind many of us and are inadequate for a progressive Bahamas. On any given day, the Princess Margaret Hospital is oversaturated with Bahamians in need of health care. Accident and emergency is oftentimes lined with gurneys of patients waiting to be served, sometimes for days. Beds are not easily available, and many are sent home, and many die. We can no longer retard the progress of this nation because of fear. We must not be afraid to aggressively pursue those areas that would advance our country, eliminate the hurt and the pain, and create happy hearts. We must at all times remember that the PLP promised to wipe tears from every eye. Without question, the Bahamas has a core of professional physicians and technicians in all sectors of the medical profession. We must now sit and talk about healthcare with them. What will it take to transform the sector to both meet the demands of those seeking medical services and those who are delivering medical services? The same must hold true for the professionals in the financial sector. We have failed to compete and sustain an aggressive approach to capturing the sector and leading in the world. The jurisprudence of the Bahamas, its core professionals, and with progressive changes to our legislation, we will be able to touch the economies of the world, particularly the rising economies in Asia, and attract more business to the Bahamas. I again remind you that the future demands that we expand our financial sector into Grand Bahama. The infrastructure, the proximity, all lend to a successful expansion of this sector in our nation's second city. As your deputy leader, I will recommend to our party and to our party leader that we review our program in education and that we examine its relevance in a 21st century. We must stop social promotion in our schools. I spoke with a primary school teacher this year who bemoaned the fact that she would be promoting 2 young children who could not write and could not read, but they were leaving primary school and going into high school. This cannot be accepted in a country where human capital is limited. We are small, so therefore, each Bahamian student must at least be able to read and to be able to write. Given the crisis in our educational system, we must demand more of our teachers, and if we demand more, we must be willing to pay them more and pay them what they're worth. The large majority of the problems in educating our children will find significant resolve in the classrooms, but teachers cannot be frustrated. They must be given the tools to carry out their responsibility, and they must be regarded and respected as important people, which they are. Let us not boast about building school buildings or building classrooms. Let us agree that we should celebrate when we build educated people who fully understand that it is to them that the future lies. Without an educated people, our nation is condemned. The other component to educating our youth, it must be our parents. While many parents face tough decisions and challenging times, parents must appreciate that God has given them the gift of a child. I am convinced that all parents want their children to be grade A students. In moving forward, we must strengthen the partnership between the parent and the educational system. We might begin by insisting that upon the day the parents register the student for the new school year, that the parents spend a day in orientation before the child can be registered, so that the parent will have a better understanding of what the school year entails. My view is that on orientation day, parents would be able to learn more about the information of proper study, of eating and resting habits for their children. They must become more involved. We must help them to become more involved. I will also recommend that we introduce after-school programs beginning in New Providence, where we'll establish regions for dance lessons, music lessons, sporting activities, and science and technology classes. It is more than obvious that too many of our young people have nothing to do after school, and hours are wasted trekking through the streets and engaging in misdemeanors. We must create for our youth a purposeful life where their minds are occupied with programs that prepare them to be better citizens.